Hello Booktube, I'm Nicole. Welcome to Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we're going to talk about Build Your House Around My Body by Violet Kupersmith. So let's get started. Good morning or good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I have read. And today I'm talking about Build Your House Around My Body by Violet Kupersmith, and she is a Vietnamese American author that is new to me. I've never read her before, and I first come across this book when I seen the long list for the Women's Prize for Fiction for 2022, and I just adore this cover. Like, let's just take some time to look at that cover. It is just adorable. I love it. I love the snakes on it, and I'm not a snake fan, but I love the artwork. It's just really, really nice. And it just drew me in. So I knew nothing else about this book except that it had paranormal aspects to it, and also that it was based around Vietnamese folklore. So in saying that, I did find the book somewhat a little bit confusing because I don't know much about Vietnamese folklore, but it has sparked a curiosity in me to learn a little bit more about it because it seems very poetic and very supernatural based and all that sort of stuff, just from going from this book. I could be completely wrong because I don't know anything more about it. I actually don't know why I don't know much about that sort of folklore, but you know, these things happen. We sometimes, you know, gravitate more to one thing than the other, but I'm very curious now to learn a little bit more about it. So if you've got any book recommendations for Vietnamese folklore, point me in the direction in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and so I can buy some more books, and yeah, I can learn a little bit more about it. So what's the book about? The book is predominantly about two women and there's two timelines. One is in 1986 and the other one is in 2011. The 1986 one there is based around a wealthy family and their teenage daughter, and she is running from her father and gets lost in a rubber plantation. And so there's a whole story, and I don't want to give any spoilers because I think you will thoroughly enjoy this book. It is a little bit confusing, especially if you don't know much about Vietnamese folklore. It was jumping around a little bit, so it made it very, very hard to keep track of. But once I settled into how it was written, the language and all that sort of stuff, and how she was setting everything up, I felt more comfortable for the second half of the book and more ingrained in the story, and I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. As I said, it does have the paranormal aspect to it, and that was the drawing in for me, so that's why I wanted to read it. So the other timeline that it follows is 2011, and it is following the story of Winnie, who is a American Vietnamese woman, and she is quite unhappy with her life, and she disappears without a trace in 2011 from her home. So it follows her story. Now, the book is set up in the dual timeline, so it'll have, like, it starts out with, I think, 10 days before she goes missing. Let me just check that. Sorry. It starts out 9 months before Winnie goes missing, and then it goes, so that's a couple of pages, and then the day of the disappearance. Then it goes back to 18 years prior to the disappearance, and that's how it's all set up. The other thing that I really liked about this book as well is, and I'm just going to show you the chapters. The chapters have this little bits of artwork in there as well. It also, now who doesn't love a book with a map? Like, I've not seen a book set up in the beginning like this, so I was quite interested in it. So it has the list of characters in it, and so that's handy, so you can refer to that. And in the different sections that it goes, like in the different parts of the book where it's going and all that sort of stuff. And then it has Winnie's Saigon, so you can track where what's going on and where she is and all that sort of stuff. And then you also have modern day in La Caire and Belly's journey. Okay, so there's their characters in the book, so it gives you those couple of things as well. And then it goes into the book. So you have the rubber forest or plantation. You have the Han house, the cemetery, the coffee fields, and all these things are mentioned throughout the book, so you can get an idea of where they are. And then in the present day of 2011 present day, we've got a map of Saigon. And it just shows where Winnie has gone as well. So, I mean, who doesn't love a good book with, like a book with a map in it? So we've got that for the map lovers. And as I said, it is a story of these two women, and it intersects with, like, they sort of travel along, and then they intersect with each other until eventually they collide. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do like for me, I really do like dual timeline narratives, because it just keeps you switching backwards and forwards, and it keeps the story interesting, in my opinion. But I did find the first part of the book a little bit confusing, and that was purely because I didn't really understand the folklore behind it, because there was some folklore stuff talked about it in the first part, and a little bit of the language, the way the author wrote it, it was very hard to read because it was the way it was worded out. And it was only that section where she was talking about family members and their names and everything, and all their names sounded very similar, so it became a little bit it sounded a little bit repetitive as I was reading it. Like, as I was reading it in my head, I was struggling a little bit, but then it settled right down, and then the story just flowed on from there. I have actually given this a 4-star rating. Is it a 4-star? Sorry, 3-star rating. It was first published in 2021, and as I said, it was on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. But that's all I really got to say, because if I say any more about it, I'm going to give it away. And I think that you should really pick this book up and give it a read. As I said, you may find it a little bit hard to read at first, but persevere with it. By the time you get to, I think it's chapter 6 or 7, it really does get into the groove of things. And it actually has 400 pages even. So by the time I got to page 200, I was so settled into the book and engrossed in the story that and I think I even put in Discord, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should DNF this book, but I'm so happy that I didn't. I did really enjoy it. I liked how it ended as well. Like, it was neatly done, nicely done. So I was pretty happy. I'm going to check out if I'm not sure how many other books she's got. I've not done any research on the author or anything like that. Just that I know that she is, where is she? She's the author of a short story collection, The Frangipani Hotel, and she previously taught English with a Fulbright program in Mekong Delta, and was a creative writing fellow at the University of East Angelina, and has lived in, and I'm probably saying these wrong, but she's lived in Saigon and Dalat, I think is how it's pronounced, probably not, and is currently a resident in the US. So, you know, she's been around for a while by the sounds of it, and lived in a few different countries, and she, as I said, she teaches English. So a good book, and I thoroughly recommend it, although I only gave it 3 stars because it didn't, while the story was good and all the rest of it, there was a couple of times I was going to DNF it in the first half of the book, so it's only a 3-star from me. But that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.